I think what makes Jeeps so popular is just the fact that it's an iconic truck. So when you think of like off-road, you always think of a Jeep. It's just that shape. It's that square shape with the little windshield and the open roof and the freedom behind it. I think that, you know, the idea of a Jeep has always sort of captured that adventurous spirit in everybody. So I think that's, to me at least, why Jeeps are so popular. You just are gravitated towards them whenever you think about adventure and off-road. Got a few key items to take care of right away. The first is my Optima Battery Box, and I'm gonna back this up with some 1/8" plate supports, as well as supports for both the pedal assembly and the brake booster. The brake booster and the pedals are out of a Jeep TJ, and it'll fit this build perfectly. I think today might be the final day for any type of metal work on the inside of this rig before we drop it onto the chassis. Right now, I want to deal with the seat mounts. We've already got our pedals in place, all the floor is in, all the patch panels are in, and I've got a couple of these suspension seats that I pulled the covers off and turned them into low backs. They actually used to have a headrest on them. I cut that off. I'm going to get these recovered, and they're probably going to sit right about here. And I got two choices when I'm doing this. First choice, I could go ahead and build a bracket that holds it up in the air where I need it, but that would just be a fixed bracket, and I want to be able to get into the back seat. So I need a bracket that like moves the seat forward to get in the back. And so then you got two choices. You can either build your own, or you can go to the junkyard. I went to the junkyard. I grabbed two seat brackets off of eBay. Now these are also from a Jeep TJ. I'll have to add some mounts to the floor so they sit correctly, but these will give me the ability to adjust my seating position and flip the seat forward to get into the back. I'll have to build some custom seat adapters to adapt the suspension seats to the TJ seat mounts, but it's not a huge deal. I got a complete aftermarket steering column kit. Now this I grabbed from Summit Racing. It's basically a brand new column, a custom steering wheel, firewall mount, and the column drop. Everything that you would ever need to install a true custom steering column in your rig. It's just a lot easier than going to a junkyard, and it's gonna look a lot cooler. So the whole point here is to get the column basically fairly centered on the driver's seat. You want to have enough room to be able to get in and out. This is a tilt column, so the neck can tilt up and down. And the next thing you just set up is the drop. This is a pretty universal drop. It'll just mount onto the top here, but I think I'll have to either extend this drop or bring a bracket down to pick it up. But so far right there, I think that's going to be perfect. I'll make a cardboard template for the column drop, and I'll cut it out by hand on top of the plasma table. And then once it's in place, the column can be bolted up. I don't have the original dash out of the wagon, never had it, and I don't really know if it would even fit with how I've built the firewall and everything, so I gotta build a whole new dash. But my plan is simple. It all starts with some stainless steel exhaust pipe. So to get an idea how this is gonna work, all I'm using the tube for is basically that huge, big radius. So I'll put a piece of plate along the top like this, and I'll keep the radius, and then I'll add another piece of plate basically on the bottom, but I won't put it flush. I won't just use the curve. I'll use almost all of this. So I'll put the piece of other plate on the very bottom here, and then I'll have to come up with some sort of center chunk. And I think that's where the gauges will go. And I think I'll just do like a little bit of a hoop. Got a lot done on the Bad Ole Wagon today here in the Big Tire Garage, and I have to say, this rig is probably one of the most comfortable vehicles I have built in a long time. I love the seating position. I love the low back seats. Steering column is perfect. It's tilt, sits just where you want it. Perfect visibility out the windshield, but honestly, the cherry on top of the cake today has to be this full stainless dash that I've put together. It's a little unconventional using exhaust tubing and flat stainless plate. And yes, I do still have to take it out and fully weld it in metal finish, but I love how it looks. Thanks once again for hanging out with me here today in the Big Tire Garage. I'm gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy an adult beverage after all my hard work. Remember, don't drink and drive. This vehicle doesn't have an engine yet. It's not going anywhere. See you next time.